It's another raw video from your favorite YouTube scout, Draftrawthentic. Yes, I am finally here making another video, and like I said, it's a raw one. So, there will be no edits. Anyway, if you can tell by the title of this video, this is the draft forecast for the Denver Broncos. Now, you may be wondering, what is a draft forecast? Basically, it's predicting where players will be, let's say 3 years after the draft happens. And specifically, what it's going to be is, I'm going to be naming the biggest boom, the biggest bust, and the late round steal for the Denver Broncos, and which will probably be every team in the league. So instead of wasting your time with all of this mumbo jumbo, let's just get straight into it. The biggest boom pick. And actually, I gotta put some mumbo jumbo to it. I'm sorry. With the boom and bust pick, I'll be looking at players picked within the first 3 rounds or the first 3 players drafted. Broncos have 4 players picked in the first 3 rounds, so we're good there. And then with the late round steals, obviously guys picked through rounds 4 through 7, which is day 3 of the draft. So that's how we're going to do it. So anyway, now getting into it, with the biggest boom pick in the Denver Broncos 2018 NFL Draft, it has to be Courtland Sutton. I'm just playing with y'all. No, it's Bradley Chubb. Obviously, it's Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb is the one player that I felt as though, to me, was the best player in the draft. Just straight up the best player in the draft. For the last couple of years, I've actually kind of been right on who I felt was the best player in the draft, just based off of how what has happened within the couple of years that they've been in the league and stuff like that. So maybe this streak will keep on going. I had Bradley Chubb as the best player. I think that there wasn't a lot of weaknesses to him and in his game. And with him being an elite player on a college level, I know that he can bring that type of skill set and be an elite player in the NFL level. If there was any bust factor, which I don't think there would be, it's just him being possibly, playing linebacker within the NFL. And even though it's outside linebacker and is a pass rushing type of position for him, that would be the only thing that he may struggle with, is dropping back in coverage. But I know that Von Miller is actually a pretty good drop back in coverage guy. So they may not have to use a guy like Bradley Chubb to do it, but you want to have interchangeable linebackers that will be able to do both things. And dropping back, you don't have to be great at it, but at least be okay at it. Definitely be an excellent pass rusher, and definitely be able to stop the run. And I know he can do at least 2 of those 3 things, which will make him a pretty good player in the NFL. So that's who I feel is the biggest boom pick. Now we're going to look at the biggest bust. No, it's not Courtland Sutton. I actually said Courtland Sutton's name because I thought he will be a boom pick as well. I actually feel as though the Denver Broncos has the best draft in the whole entire league in the 2018 NFL Draft. The biggest bust pick for me will actually be Royce Freeman. And people may look at me and say, well, why would you pick Royce Freeman? Royce Freeman, he is a good, solid running back. I'll give him credit for that. But the thing about Royce Freeman that I'm not the biggest fan of is Royce Freeman reminds me a little bit of a Trent Richardson. Now, we all know that Trent Richardson in college was great, and then in the NFL he was terrible. Now, I'm not talking about the aspect of Royce Freeman being great in college, because he was solid in college. He wasn't great. But getting into the NFL, I don't think that he's going to be even close to what he was in college, just like a Trent Richardson was. And it's kind of crazy because Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers said something about Trent Richardson and the reason why he thought he would be a bust. Ryan Clark has said this story maybe once or twice. And he said that with Richardson, he doesn't actually break tackle or feed. He doesn't actually make contact. He absorbs the hits. And absorbing hits can cause injuries. And also, it's one of those things where it's almost like you're avoiding the contact in a way. Because you're just using your straight up, thick body and speed. Like if a bowling ball hitting a brick wall and it will break. It's in that concept that you're just using the momentum of the type of body type that you have to be able to break tackles, and you're not actually making contact and really lowering the shoulder. He doesn't do that at all. And if you watch any of my videos, I'm not a fan of that type of stuff. To me, as a running back, if you are a bigger running back, like a Saquon Barkley, and like a Royce Freeman, both those players, to me, avoid contact, and Saquon Barkley even more. And we'll get into that a little bit more when I do the Giants draft forecast. Now, I've already done the Giants draft breakdown before. But with Royce Freeman, there's those type of situations where it's absorbing the hits and not actually really taking on the hits. And I think that that's going to really hurt him. And honestly, taking on hits can cause injuries too and hurt you too. But absorbing hits is even worse, because it's one of those things where your body is going to break down faster. Eventually, when you are lowering your shoulder and giving contact, you're evening out the tackle. You're evening it out. When you're running and if somebody hits you, you're breaking down your body. But when you're running and you make that contact too, what you're doing is you're taking away the momentum that the tackler has, and you're stopping the momentum. So it's not like you're just letting. It's not like you're just literally letting the bowling ball just hit you. It's not, you're not letting the things hit you. If you notice, if someone, it's probably not the best explanation, but if somebody's hitting you with something, and let's say they took a wooden 2x4, hit your hand, that's going to hurt. But if they take that wooden 2x4 and go to hit your hand, and you hit the 2x4 at the same time, it's not going to hurt as much, and it's going to break the 2x4. That's the explanation of what with Royce Freeman is what could make him the biggest bust in the Broncos draft. So that's the reason why, to put in a good explanation, that's the reason why I think he's going to be a bust. Now, I've already said these things about Bradley Chubb, the Courtland Sutton, the Royce Freeman, all of this. I've done the draft breakdown for the Denver Broncos. So if you want to see that draft breakdown of what I have to say about a lot of these other players, because I won't be talking about a lot of the players, I just will be talking about specifically the boom, the bust, and what I'm about to get into, the late round steal, I'm going to put it in the description box of the link to the Denver Broncos draft breakdown, so you can get a little bit more if this is your first time seeing videos of Draftrawthentic. Now, to go with the late round steal, this is probably one of my favorite players in the draft, and is my favorite tight end in the draft. And that is Troy Fumagalli from Wisconsin. Yes, I think he will be a late round steal. I think that this is a guy that is going to be one of the next great tight ends for the Denver Broncos. I feel as though he's got Jason Witten written all over him. He's not overly fast or overly quick, but he finds a way to get open. He catches everything that's thrown to him. He's a solid blocker. I think one of his biggest things is that he doesn't test well in terms of, not being overly fast. And also, having 9 fingers, just like a Shaquem Griffin with one hand, is going to hurt a player a little bit. But he's overcome those type of things, and he's one of these guys that I really do think he's going to be probably the biggest late round steal in the entire draft period. He has a chance to be one of the next great tight ends in the NFL. I truly think that, and it's kind of weird that he did go in the 5th round the way he did with the Denver Broncos, but that is one of the biggest reasons why I have the Denver Broncos having one of the best drafts in the 2018 NFL draft. So, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more from me and my draft and my opinions and my draft breakdowns and everything that I do, please subscribe to the channel if it's your first time watching. Please comment if you didn't like what I have to say about a certain player, or if you thought that I was wrong about anything. Please comment so we can debate about it. Please share this video so other people can comment, other people can debate, and we can build a drafting community that I know I would love and you would love definitely. Once again, this is Draftrawthentic. I thank you for watching. Goodbye.